Game Over Vancouver is broadcasting from the Game Over Network channel for the playoffs, but starting in October, the network launches for real, which means for all of your Vancouver Canucks content, you want to go check out the Game Over Vancouver channel. You can subscribe right now by opening up the Game Over Network channel from this video in a new tab. Scroll down past my ugly mug, click on the Game Over Vancouver YouTube page, then click subscribe and click that reminder bell as well so you don't miss when we post a video or go live. Tell all your Canucks fans, friends, and family to come join our awesome community. You really won't regret it. And for this video, make sure you smash that like button right into oblivion.
Hi, my name's Kaja Mae, and welcome to Game Over Vancouver. I said I was going to start this waiting for my hands to stop shaking. I think we're almost there, but I don't know how I can recover ever from this game. Like, that was one of the wildest playoff games I've ever watched. I was fully considering it. I was like, okay, so now it's a best of three. It's gonna be a tied series. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It'll be a tied series. We'll go back to Nashville for game 6. It's okay. It's all going to be fine. But then Brock Besser just decided to not let that happen. And the Vancouver Canucks ended up beating the Nashville Predators 4-3 in overtime after being down 3-1 with 3 minutes left in the third period. So, yeah, I have a lot of feelings. I have a lot of thoughts. Let's get into this. I'm Kaja Mae. Subscribe to the Game Over Network. Like the video. Alright, let's start with, well, the news that happened before the actual game. There's news that there was a lineup change afoot in Vancouver, and when it came to the goaltending. And, yeah, so Arturs Shilovs got his first NHL playoff start today. Because apparently Casey DeSmith is also injured now, because we can't have nice things in Vancouver. But a fun fact heading into that, he's also the 5th Latvian goalie to play in the Stanley Cup Finals, and he beat Casey DeSmith in, hi AJ! He also beat Casey DeSmith in, Joey, why is there, okay. I just realized. Hello, everybody! Hype! Yes, crazy game. Casey DeSmith lost to Arturs Shilovs in the 2023 Men's World Championships bronze medal game. So that was fun. That was also an overtime. Anyway, 2:55 into the first, again on the first shot of the game for the Canucks. Brock Besser scores. Basically, the Canucks win the face-off. Besser goes to the boards. He gets the pass. No one's watching him, kind of similar to what happens on the overtime winner for Elias Lindholm. But yeah, no Predators watching him. 2:55 to the first. Brock Besser makes it a 1-0 game. I'm not taking my jersey off. It's gone 5-0-0. Oh, that's good. That's good. I wore my Besser jersey during game 2, so I feel like that was, yeah. Forsberg got an interference penalty on Myers, which I thought was hilarious, because how do you knock down Tyler Myers like that? Like, and it was pretty easy. He went down pretty easy. Not to say that it wasn't, like, a hard hit, but wow. he knocked down Tyler Myers, and Forsberg's also a pretty big dude, but yeah, the Canucks are 2 for 9 on the power play this series. I think they're now 2 for 10. I don't know if this one counts as a power play, because 4 seconds into the power play, the Canucks take a penalty. Elias Lindholm, interference on Ryan O'Reilly, because he was trying to be aggressive and he went around the wrap. It was weird. It was weird. The Canucks were really controlling on the 4-on-4 until Jankowski made it a tie game. Patterson got knocked over in the celebration. He is really not having a good series. Hopefully he tries to redeem himself. We don't know. Yeah, and Phil Pronik just lets Jankowski go by and is just kind of standing there confused, like looking for a camera like he's Jim from The Office or something. Goes over Shilovs, but I really think that he is not to blame for most of the Nashville goals. Pretty much all the Nashville goals tonight. Yeah, Canucks are getting shots, Nashville blocking. I mean, that was just the first period. The rest of the game, they really didn't. Um, Roman Yossi took a puck to the ear. He had blood like running down his neck. He got sent out of the game after for blood. You know, you can't have that on your jersey because that's bad. And yeah, he ended up returning a couple minutes into the second period. She Loves is good for rebounds. In my opinion, from what I noticed, better than because DeSmith has given up quite a number of rebounds. Myers also went down, took a puck to the face. It's not a good day to be a face in the NHL because we've had 2 games, and I swear there have been like 4 pucks hitting players in the face specifically. Hughes again continued to be targeted. He is being targeted. He missed a couple shifts. That could be something to worry about, but you know, as long as he's still on the ice, it's okay. And then the highlight of the entire game for me, forget about the overtime win and the Brock Besser hat trick, was Artur Shilov's sitting in the dressing room during intermission with just a bag of ice just chilling on the top of his head. Like, that's adorable. That's adorable. Yeah, it's great. Counter rip off your face before games. Oh my gosh. Second period, Myers and Yossi return. Nyquist scores after the Canucks miss 2 odd man chances at the other end. Suter passed to Besser instead of taking a shot. They can't get anything else on net. Then there's a 2-on-1 for Nashville. Zadorov's the only one back, and instead of he's focused on breaking up the pass, which, I mean, usually happens. That happens quite a bit in 2-on-1s. But the pass didn't come because Nyquist was the one who stole the puck, and then he shot it. And then Nashville had the lead. Hronek kind of soon after, he gets called for holding on Jason Zucker. It's not really necessary. It was like he was like trying to restrict the shot, but Zucker was not going to make it cleanly, in my opinion. And he reached in after Zucker could have scored. Also, I think that during, you know, Nashville being Nashville, they're mocking the goalie, right? So they're going, she loves. They were doing this with the Smith. It's normal hockey fan behavior. Except I feel like they were saying Silvos during this penalty kill, which is the spelling mistake that was made on She Loves' jersey a couple seasons ago. So, yeah. Anyway, Suter and Miller had another chance. Suter's had a few good chances this game, just couldn't get anything in the net. Lausanne for interference on Garland after he tried to push him into the boards. She Loves saved a puck that snuck through his legs shorthanded, and he actually did it himself instead of having a defenseman take a puck off the line, so that's good for him. And then the third period, let's talk about that. Philip Forsberg, with a few seconds in, he scores. It's deflected, because it's a Ryan McDonough, Roman Yossi of the assists, and it's deflected 12 seconds in off his skate. And I'll talk about this a bit later, but the Canucks, they couldn't challenge this. The coaches, Tocchet couldn't challenge it, him and his staff, because that's not allowed in the rulebook. It would have to be an NHL challenge. The decision room can decide. They can decide in Toronto, but who knows? Maybe they're still trying to catch up after the Jets-Avs game. Yeah, but also part of that goal, again, Phil Hronek, he slips at the blue line and, barely recovers in order to do his job that he wants many $1 million for, which is defense. Then the Canucks basically do nothing. I was fully expecting to just say, yeah, the Canucks really just gave up in the third, because they did. They really did. They were not the better team at all in this third period. I think definitely the Forsberg goal got their minds away from it a bit. The only person that was like super mad about it was Brock Besser, which is kind of funny considering what happens later in the period. So the Canucks have 6 attackers on the ice. Brock Besser has he's one of the 6. Artur Shilovs is in the on the Canucks bench. Besser, he tips it off of the tip of Saros' skate with the Canucks net empty, but yeah. Saros is down, goes off the tip of his skate, and it's in. So 3-2 Canucks, they still have some life left in them. There's still just over a couple minutes left. It was a close call. Colton Sissons hit the post of the Canucks net. Empty net, so concerning. Then, with 6.2 seconds remaining in regulation, Brock Besser scores a hat trick to tie the game and force an overtime. 6.2 seconds remaining in regulation. He is the 6th player in Canucks history to have a hat trick in the playoffs. He is also the first player since Trevor Linden in 1996 to do so. To score a hat trick in the playoffs. 1996. The Sedins were drafted in 1999. So that whole era where we were like run by the Twins, I understand it was also like scoring was very low in the early 2000s and stuff like that. A lot of the blame to New Jersey there, I guess. But their catches strays. They're not even in the playoffs. But yeah. That whole stretch, nothing. No playoff hat tricks. Brock Besser breaks the almost 30-year streak of the Canucks not having a hat trick in the postseason. With 6.2 seconds remaining in regulation, he gets the hat trick. Phenomenal performance from him, and that forces overtime. So, the Canucks really got off to a good start in overtime. They were really demanding, I would say. Don't let Gomer hear you say that. He doesn't know who I am. Overtime. The Canucks really dominated the beginning over overtime. Elias Lindholm, 62 seconds into OT. He gets the pass from behind the net from Connor Garland, who else? And he's left alone, all in front of the net, and he scores. And that's all she wrote. Barbershop Window in the chat says, Nucks didn't beat Nashville, Nashville beat themselves. Nashville was the better team. Hands down throughout this entire game. But when it comes to overall, like, the Canucks did not deserve to win this game whatsoever. Brock Besser scored that first goal, and then they let Nashville run the show, especially in the third period. Like, let me try and find the shot breakdown. Yeah, so the Canucks had half the shots as Nashville did in the second, and 5 less, and almost half of the shots that they had in the third. So, not the greatest. And hey, they scored on their first shot of OT. But yeah, so could have been a bit better. In especially like the third period, most of the shots I bet were like the last little bit of the third, when they actually did something with it. It wasn't the best performance from the Canucks this series. It was probably, I wouldn't say the better comeback, because like the comeback in game 1, it was really loud in there, but this one just had so much emotion because like the hat trick, overtime. Playoff hockey is the craziest season of the year. Yeah, I think that's what I meant to say. Yeah, the Vancouver Canucks head back. They have a chance to take the series on home ice if they can win Game 5, which is a crazy thing to say. Tuesday. I'm not doing it right. Alright, before we get into our second little conversation here, we have a little break.
Game Over Ottawa is relaunching in October. So for all of your Ottawa Senators action, reaction, news, analysis, and fun, make sure that you click on the Game Over Network channel right now, open a new tab in this video, scroll past my ugly mug, and click on the Game Over Ottawa channel. Subscribe, and then hit that drop-down menu. Make sure you hit the alarm bell so that you get notified whenever we post a video or go live. Tell all your Sens fans, friends, and family to check out our awesome community, and make sure you smash the like button on this video right into oblivion.
I forgot which button to press. So, yeah. It's not game over without technical difficulties. Now, let's talk about what the Canucks will do in Game 5. So, I mean, the hope would be that they rested Dennis Smith to come back for Game 5, but seeing the performance, I don't know why I'm still playing with this. Seeing the performance that She Loves gave in this game, I'm not sure if I would want to start DeSmith in Vancouver because, like, he said he preferred to play on the road. He did better on the road. She Loves, I think, based on this performance, like, the goals that went in were not. He seemed more solid than DeSmith. I don't know if that's just my perception of what was going on. But the goals here in this game were not really his fault. It was a lot of lack of defense on the Canucks part. Yeah, like the Nyquist goal, that was a 2-on-1. The Jankowski and the Forsberg goals were, they were both Phil Pronik not playing up to the caliber that we traded a first round pick for. Yeah, I think that She Loves should start in Game 5, but that's just me. Other things in the lineup, I don't know. I'm surprised that Podkolzin hasn't come into a game yet. I think he probably deserves a fair look. Yeah, I Game 5 is going to be very interesting. It was an awesome game. It was definitely an awesome game. I feel like they should bring Noah Juleson in. I don't know who for. Part of me is saying Philip Hronik, but also, like, he's paid a lot of money, so I don't think they would do that. I getting a Lindholm jersey now, that is valid. I was questioning him a bit earlier with the interference penalty he took on Ryan O'Reilly, but then, yeah, he redeemed himself. You know what? I was even in the Game Over, like, our group chat that we have, all of us, I was like, oh yeah, because we had to trade for Lindholm, so now we can't get Tanev. So we couldn't get Tanev. I was unfamiliar with his game, it turns out. But yeah, lineup wise, I'm worried about Pettersson. I'm not entirely sure what they're going to do with him for Game 5. If he's, because part of me is like, okay, the Canucks have a 3-1 lead in the series. They're safe for now. That's why they played She Loves. Like, they knew Game 5 was going to happen because they lost Game 2. So I think that they made the right decision there. Preserved DeSmith's condition because, you know, we still don't have our actual starting Vezina candidate goaltender for who knows how long. So to preserve DeSmith, I feel like that's a good idea, but also getting like your star players that they should, you know, get the your star players should also get the same injury treatment. Because obviously he's dealing with something. He's been off since March. I think that they should potentially rest him for a game, see what good that does. I'm also worried because, you know, if Game 5 is the last game of the season, the last game of the series, I think that could, you know, affect confidence a bit. Um, they have a lot of firepower, but they aren't as heavy. So yeah, we're getting ahead of ourselves with the Oilers. With the Oilers, they only have a 2-1 lead right now. Anything can happen. Just kidding. Like LA has no chance. Like David Riddick's in net tonight for the Kings. They yeah. Um, yeah. I think the Oilers series it would be very interesting. We're also getting ahead of ourselves because again, the Canucks are only up 3-1. You never know. You never know what could happen. I mean, I feel like I know what's gonna happen, but you never know. I I saw people saying Hughes was struggling a bit too. I mean, I also think that he's been the main target for the Predators this series. He's taken a beating very very literally. And I don't know if it's because, he led defenseman points. He's a very likely Norris candidate, or what was the tweet? I don't know. I haven't blocked. Um, I don't know what you're saying, dude. Um, I don't speak Latvian. Um, then yeah. So obviously it's he's a very good defenseman. Obviously Norris conversation he has been for years, but now he's actually getting to national recognition. And also I feel like it's the C on his chest maybe. C stands for target. You never know. Pedersen also I feel like is the target for more of the shot blocks. They showed that earlier on in the game. The Canucks did have more blocked shots than the uh Nashville Predators did. My brain just broke there. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Nashville had more giveaways, but they also had more takeaways from the Canucks. But then again, the Canucks had the puck for like 5 minutes the game. So, I don't know. The Canucks are up in the series. It's a great day to be a Vancouver fan. There was a watch party. The city of Vancouver does not have a watch party instated yet because A, they're boring, and B, gestures vaguely to the history of the Vancouver Canucks fans in the playoffs. I mean, I don't know. Edmonton has fights at their watch parties, and it's literally the first series, so I don't know. When it comes to the surrounding area, though, because there are a lot of, unlike the Greater Toronto area, the GTA, if you will, and everything is kind of congealed within Toronto. Vancouver actually has a lot of different cities. So Delta, BC, which is one of those many cities, it's about half an hour out of Vancouver. I've never driven from Delta to Vancouver before. But it's like south. It's like a city south. So if this is Vancouver, there's Richmond where YVR, like the airport is, and then there's Delta. And Delta has a ferry terminal to take you to Victoria. Not important, just for those who are unfamiliar with the landscape of the area, wanted to give you that. Anyway, Delta had an outdoor watch party. It's raining outside. They still had a watch party, and in one of my group chats, somebody sent that tweet. She's like, "I feel bad for them at the beginning of the third, after Philip Forsberg scored," and I felt bad for them too, but you know what? If you were there at that watch party, like that energy must have been crazy. When Brock Besser tied it, in overtime, I was like I could barely move. I was shaking so much out of my chair. It was insane. But yeah, so I think game 5. Who thinks we're starting Artie Party? Who thinks we're starting Casey DeSmith? Who thinks that somebody's gonna get benched from either Lise Pedersen to Phil Pronik to I don't know. I think that there are players like I think Vasily Podkolzin should come in. I think that Noah Juleson could potentially get another shot. But it all depends on what Tocchet thinks for game 5. He has 2 days to decide. Hopefully he can figure it out by then. Actually, over 2 days because it's an actual evening game at a tolerable time. Um, for, West Coast fans. Yeah, 2:15 p.m. start. It's so early, man. This is my I say my summer break. I'm like I start school again like next week, but yeah. Anyway, let's talk about NHL rules in a second. In a second, after we have a little message from Calgary. And unfortunately, and surprise, surprise, it's not a trade.
Game Over Calgary is relaunching in October. For all your Game Over Calgary content, make sure you subscribe to our Calgary specific YouTube channel. Open the Game Over Network YouTube page in a new tab from this video, scroll past Andrew talking, and click on the Game Over Calgary channel in our featured channel section. Click subscribe and make sure you hit the drop down menu to get notified when we post videos or go live. Tell all your Flames fan friends and family to check it out and join our awesome community. And make sure you smash the like button on this video right into oblivion.
My apologies. Hello, I am back. Let's talk about NHL rules. Okay, so the Philip Forsberg goal. It went off his skate. Was it a distinct kicking motion? We don't know. Because the game was not halted to look at it again. It went in to the net, as goals do. And it happened to go off of his skate. You know, like a kick would if you were to kick something into the net. I mean, like, I also like to partake in a little bit of watching of soccer or footy for the Europeans in chat. I see you. But I don't know. I don't fully buy that it was kicked in. My only concern was Forsberg not noticing that he scored. But I also feel like that aids a bit in the kind of calling, like the non-review of it. I feel like that helps a bit for the football. I called it footy, okay? I'm trying. Talk it never seems to challenge. The thing is, the coaches actually can't challenge that. So this was a topic of conversation online and also during the intermission. Talkett and the coaching staff could not challenge that goal. Goals can only be challenged if it's goaltender interference, missed stoppage, or offside. They can only be challenged by the coach for that. It would not be challengeable for a kick. That would have to be activated by the refs, which they didn't do, or the Situation Room in Toronto, which they review every goal. Obviously, it's playoffs. Every goal means a lot. That was said before you corrected yourself. Okay. How's your voice holding up? I actually didn't say anything when they scored. I was too busy freaking out a bit. Yeah. So Taka couldn't challenge it. Situation Room, they reviewed it. And it was fine, apparently. I mean, he also, didn't know that he scored until he looked back and saw the ref go like this, and they're like, oh, okay, goal. In the end, did it matter? A bit, because, it's a goal is a goal. At the same time, Nashville still lost. So, yeah. I mean, I personally have a lot of questions about reviews and NHL officiating in general, but I feel like they got this one right, personally. But that's just my opinion. Because, yeah, I mean, people are like, oh, well, his foot was moving this one way. Yeah, his feet are gonna move. They're on ice. Ice is slippery. Things fall. People fall. Like, it's like the point of ice. I mean, like, I walk out on ice in just my usual sneakers. But, that's just me. I don't know how that applies, but it is slippery. We scored goals 3 and 4. Our house was filled with inappropriate words and inappropriate body movements. My body just kind of like everything just shut down. I could not believe it was happening. That he scored the hat trick, and it was the tying, and then I went out and I told my brother, and I was just like, oh my gosh, you have no idea. He did not understand why I was just so hyped up on energy. But yeah, it was, what a game. Well, I don't want to say what a game because the Canucks definitely should have lost this game, but I will say, what a last 5 minutes, let's say, the last 3 minutes of regulation, or last 4 minutes, of regulation, and then the last minute of, or the first minute of overtime. Yeah. So, I was expecting, yesterday we had a double OT game, right? Yes. Yeah, that was the Isles, and then Vegas, Dallas also went to OT. But I love OT. It was so quick in OT. Yeah, I was definitely grateful too, considering, I'm also, a closet Rangers fan, so I was like, oh, you gotta be kidding me. Because the Rangers game started at 5, so it was supposed to be like right after. And yeah, I was like, oh wow. So I was like, I'm gonna miss. I was like, I already, because I'm doing game over, obviously I'm here. I was like, okay, I'm gonna miss the first period, but because, you know, they go to overtime, and then this show also, I guess, goes to overtime in a sense. I'm like, okay, so I'm going to miss most of the game, and then I'm like, oh, okay. They saw that and they're like, oh, cool. I want to watch Matt Rempe. Boom, and Elias Lindholm. Elias Lindholm's just like he's just a really big Matt Rempe fan apparently. I was nervous, which I hate. I'm always nervous, so I don't think that my my care for this team particularly helps. Also, I was very, very caffeinated when this happened. Um, I was very caffeinated, so it was a time. Um, all right. Get into more of the questions in a second. One little message about Game Over Vancouver, which is us and Clay. Clay's in chat. Hi, Clay.
Game Over Vancouver is broadcasting from the Game Over Network channel for the playoffs, but starting in October, the network launches for real, which means for all of your Vancouver Canucks content, you want to go check out the Game Over Vancouver channel. You can subscribe right now by opening up the Game Over Network channel from this video in a new tab. Scroll down past my ugly mug, click on the Game Over Vancouver YouTube page, then click subscribe and click that reminder bell as well so you don't miss when we post a video or go live. Tell all your Canucks fans, friends, and family to come join our awesome community. You really won't regret it. And for this video, make sure you smash that like button right into oblivion.
Alright. I figured it out that time. Rangers are fun to watch, but how can you be a fan? When the Canucks traded Tyler Mott to the Rangers a couple seasons ago, I was like, okay, I guess I'm gonna watch the Rangers, because I really like Tyler Mott. And then the Rangers made it to the Eastern Conference Final, and along that time I got really into the Rangers. So now they're my B team. So I also they're my Eastern Standard team, and then when the Canucks, that's when I shift to Pacific. Anyway, Juleson over Rempe. I mean, they both play different positions. Are you saying that Surrey's better than Calgary? Because yeah, definitely. I wonder if they are out partying at Scott Road in 72nd right now. Because, it is the middle of the day. So, I don't know if people would like that, but Tyler Mott over Austin Matthews. Who's still in the playoffs? Wait, no, never mind. The Leafs also made it to... I forgot the Leafs didn't get swept. Anyway, yeah, so... Tyler Mott over Austin Matthews. Tyler Mott's at least gotten points in the playoffs the series against Florida. He scored. I know that. It's really weird watching the Leafs struggle against the Bruins, but it's also such a fun series just to see, just observe from the sidelines, because I know Game Over Toronto was very, very popular yesterday. With Lauren on, it was, yeah, that was a game for the Leafs that's going to be put in history books as like the end of an era. Cause yeah, I don't see how the core would want to stay around. If William Nylander told me to stop crying during an NHL game, I think I would never recover. I would never recover from that personally. How has Harrison coped with the playoffs? He is confused. Um, he watches sometimes with me. He watched a bit of Colorado Winnipeg with me earlier. But Harrison, for context, Harrison is my dog. He's outside my room right now. Because I could hear him. But yeah, he's been all right. He likes some things. He's a really big Igor Shesterkin fan, and I don't know why. But like every time I watch the Rangers and Igor shows up, he gets happy. So I don't know. But yeah, I mean, the Canucks, the Vancouver Canucks, it's really Canucks season. I wrote a piece recently for school about how, you know, it's okay to cheer and be excited because this is, you know, enjoy the ride. It's a wild time to be in the Stanley Cup playoffs. I wasn't expecting it to go this well for the Canucks today. I wasn't expecting it to go this well for the Canucks an hour ago. But here we are. Here we are. The Vancouver Canucks. Are the Canucks nasty? I wouldn't use the term nasty. I mean, some of their players are, and some of their moves can be, but I just think they're kind of enjoying. They're just enjoying it. They're enjoying the ride right now. They're not at like the power of friendship level of pushing through the playoffs like the Rangers were a couple years ago, but I think that the the Leafs and Jets have respective 3-1 deficits in their playoff series and have had limited post-2018 postseason success. Potential breakups of those teams' cores may not be far off. I feel like the Jets' core is mostly broken up, though. Because really only, like, Scheifele and Hellebuck are still there. Like, Wheeler went to Rangers. They're just having a good time. Yeah, exactly. Enjoy the ride. You don't know how long it's gonna last. Enjoy the ride. Hey, Game Over Gang, what an ending. Josh, I think Josh, the NES nerd, great system. I agree. What an ending. What an ending. Brockbuster, I owe you my life. Yeah, I feel like the Jets core isn't really, like, they're in a state of limbo. I wasn't expecting much from the Jets this season, I'm not gonna lie, but they obviously disproved me a bit there. The Leafs, yeah, definitely. Like, it's the end of an era. The Leafs should have broken up the core years ago. I'm not gonna lie. Or, like, last year, maybe. No, probably not last year, because, you know, they finally beat the first round, but no. They're gonna get knocked out in Game 5, and, unless Allmark starts, they're getting knocked out in Game 5, and we're gonna see some trades. We're gonna see some moves. We're not gonna see some buyouts, though, because that's not allowed until July 1st, I think. Which is unfortunate, because I found this out while asking if it was okay to buy someone out in the middle of the playoffs. This was after the 3-1 goal. Try and guess who I'm talking about. They're just having a good time. This is my first time experiencing playoff hockey. What do I do with my hands? Jazz hands. Always do jazz hands. Crowd loves a good jazz hands. Yeah, what an ending. I still, like, my brain is still struggling to comprehend that happened. That happened at Bridgestone Arena, in an arena that was so confident. They were so much louder than they were in Game 3. They were so confident for this win. They had their catfish on the ice and the remnants they had to clean up before puck drop, which I still don't understand why you would do the catfish. That's just is gross to me. The octopus makes sense because, you know, 8 wings, 8 legs, tentacles, you know, that makes sense. 31-minute delay on 120th Street. So that means that there's definitely people partying out there. So go Surrey. 2 and 90 seconds from the same guy. Brock Besser for Conn Smythe. I almost wrote that on my board, but I thought that this was a bit more topical, because, I mean, technically they didn't win in the third, but, you know. Poor catfish. It's such a weird tradition. Like, I understand a lot of hockey traditions. I understand. I understand the octopus. I do not talk about the catfish shoey. That was the worst. I would rather take a shoey from any of the players on the ice than. Yeah, I just realized that meant third. It's third, but like quoting Alex Burrows. Um, yeah, the catfish. I don't want to think about that ever again. I'm so concerned for that woman's digestive system. Like, is your esophagus ever going to recover from that? I hope it wasn't like. Oh, that's like I've seen a lot of gross things because I'm a sick person. I really like that one show, Station 19, the Grey's Anatomy spinoff, but I also just hate Grey's Anatomy. Um, so I have something to Google now that I really shouldn't. Yeah, it's something. Basically an actress from the greater Nashville area, or that's what I'm gonna say. The start of the third or start of the second, I don't remember. But it was one of the intermissions. I guess they poured some kind of liquid into the catfish's mouth. And the catfish, she drank out of the catfish. Who in Vancouver gets a statue built if they win the cup? We're getting ahead of ourselves, okay? Let's chill. We won one game that we should not have won, okay? I don't know. I feel like they should go Heroes Row and just get everybody. No, I mean, they poured a beer. Yeah, she drank out of a fish. Yeah. So it's basically a worse version of a shoey. If you don't know what a shoey is, I think it's an Australian thing because, you know, Australians. It's you pour a drink into a shoe and you drink from the shoe, and usually the shoe is worn by somebody because, you know, humans. I'm kidding, just for funsies. Okay, I was like, because also we're going against the Oilers. Like, it's getting nervous. I mean, we don't have anything confirmed yet. Knock on wood. I mean, I could see it happening. Who knows? LA could surprise us, but yeah, no. I think the Canucks in the second round have a better chance against the Oilers. And then they just get annihilated in the Western Conference final. Or maybe not. Maybe they won't. Maybe Artur Shilovs can pull off an MVP performance just like he did at the last year's Worlds. Tournament. That's the word I was looking for. Because yeah, he was best goaltender, goaltending all-star, and tournament MVP for the 2023 IIHF Men's World Championships in. Well, it was split between Latvia and Finland, but it's Latvian, yeah. Shoey's made famous by the greatest F1 driver of all time. I'm struggling to see who you're claiming is the greatest F1 driver of all time because I feel like it's a joke, and I feel like when you're saying that, I feel like you mean Daniel Ricciardo, but I feel like he's probably not the first one to do it there. I'm a Habs fan here, a Game Over fan in general. I've got no skin in the game. Who's a former Casey DeSmith was technically a Hab for. Yeah, we don't want to celebrate that. Skin in the game. I mean, Winnipeg. Oh, I forgot about Kyle Connor and Nikolai. Oh yeah, Adam. Okay, I guess there is a. There's a larger. I don't know why my brain was like, oh yeah, Scheifele. I think I was just thinking former leadership. Hi, Lauren. I'm sorry for your loss. But yes, Lauren, host of Game Over Toronto, amazing. Feels bad considering, what the Leafs are giving her to work with. But anyway, I think that's all I have for you tonight, people. It was great spending time with a lot of you. Please hit like on the video. Typo heavy today. I understand. Hit like on the video. Hit subscribe. Comment. Subscribe to the Game Over Network. Subscribe to all the different channels. That we have. Make sure to catch the other markets that are doing shows tonight. We have Edmonton coming up later. Yeah, it was the Canucks beat the Nashville Predators 4-3 in overtime after being down 3-1 with the last 5 minutes to go in the third period. What a game. Brock Besser deserves the longest. Subscribe to Game Over Vancouver so that next season y'all don't have to deal with Jets content. I was not talking about the Jets for a long time. I was just talking because I forgot who was on the Jets momentarily. Yes. Have a good rest of your day. Enjoy the rest of the hockey that is happening. Hi, Steve. Yeah, I own Canucks jerseys. I just thought I wanted to stay in something that was comfortable. Yeah. Yeah, don't call me sweetheart, though, buddy. You're a man with 2 first names, so. Yeah, first playoff hat trick since 96. It was a night of milestones again for the Vancouver Canucks, and that'll be all for Game Over Vancouver. I've been Kaja Mae. You can find me at Real Kaja Mae on Twitter, Kaja Mae on basically every other social media platform. And that's all for tonight. Thank you, everybody. Good night. Well, good evening. Bye.